What's up, everybody? I'm back with another coaster review from Kings Island. This is the 13th and final review from this park that I will be doing. It is of their Mine Train Adventure Express, um, which I almost forgot about when we were actually going to this park. It's a classic coaster. It's an old coaster. It's more of a family coaster. It has a very, very odd and janky layout, and I cannot wait to go into that right now. So, this is a very janked up layout. It gives good views of Banshee though in its queue line. Not so much of itself, but of Banshee in its queue line. It's right next to Racer. Um, and it was our last credit to pick up that day. We get into the ride, and the other mine train that I ridden prior to this was Cedar Creek Mine Ride at Cedar Point, and I was expecting it to have the universal lap bar like Cedar Creek Mine did, which again was crushed my thighs. I was crushed me, so I was expecting that. No, it was an individual restraint. So that was pretty nice. But we pull out of the station, and like the first half of the ride is like before the lift hill, um, the first lift hill, I should say. Um, and you're kind of like going down hills and like meandering through stuff before you even get to the lift hill. Like it's actually like a part of like an actual enjoyable part of the ride. It's not like just like a little pre thing, and then you get to the lift hill. Not like Steel Vengeance or like a JoJo or like Upright Strike or Hydra the Revenge. No, it's like a good amount of time, like a minute of ride time before you get to the lift hill. And then you eventually get to the lift hill, and you do more the same thing, just more dips and turns, and you kind of weave around your sections and stuff like that, and a little bit faster this time. And the turns on this ride were I wouldn't say the ride was rough by any means, but the turns were a little bit janky. Um, they were kind of just like very abrupt and like bam or a bam kind of thing, kind of throwing you around. Now it wasn't that bad because you're not going that fast, but uh, it was just something that you noticed. It's old. It's an old mine train. It wasn't like super high thrill. I would still consider it a family coaster, but a higher thrill family coaster at the park. But I think the wildest part of this ride was the weirdest part of this ride. Like you're going through janky turns, and the lift hill is midway through the ride. Then you hit the second lift hill. The second lift hill is like a highly themed like a tiki dance, caveman dance ride thing. You've got like animatronics on the side, just doing this, dancing on sides, and stuff like that. And there's like lights in it and whatever. But then you like come out of the second lift hill, and you do like a little dip turn, and you're into the station. That's like a lift hill straight into the station. Like, what kind of fun is that? Like, who thought it would be a fun idea? Oh yeah, let's end the ride and after a lift hill. Like, this is so anticlimactic. Why would you do that? It's so anticlimactic part of the ride. Like, come on, people. At least like make a little cool like dip or an airtime hill or something. Because there really wasn't a lot of airtime on this coaster either. It was basically just meandering through twists and turns, very drinky like twists and turns. Kind of like they were. One thing was, I wonder if Maverick was intimidated after this thing, because the thing was like or whoopah or kabah or something like that. I wonder if it was something like that. That'd be kind of funny I comment down Cedar Point executives if Maverick was modeled after this, comment down below, because I would not be very surprised. But yeah, a freaking lift hill. Like they could have done the thing where they could have put all the dancing tiki twirl guys, right? They could have put that like at the beginning of the ride, because beginning of the ride they had overhead things that had like tiki guys on them, whatever, and you could have just put them there. And then the end of the ride, you could have done like a little like twisty thing up until the end of the ride. But no, you hadn't had this stupid lift hill at the end of the ride. It kind of, because the ride was okay. It was pretty enjoyable for families at that point of the ride. Then you kind of kill all the fun, kill all the momentum with the lift hill and the ride. So that wasn't fun. I was really, I don't know. I can't say I was expecting more, but I can't say I was expecting. I can't say that's what I was expecting though. Like I expected it to at least have some sort of a good finish. Like every coaster needs a good finish, right? Um, at least something more than a freaking lift hill. I mean, at least they tried to make it fun by putting in the tiki dancing guys that were going like this, woohoo, yeah, woohoo. Like they were trying to do that at least. So I give them brownie points for trying, and I know because of the terrain of the coaster, because all it did really until the final lift hill was kind of just meander downwards, like meandering downhill. Um, and you could kind of tell it was just kind of following a downhill path, and then he has to get it somewhat back up to the station. So I mean, I feel like they could have done that differently, and they gave it a try. They tried. I give them brownie points for effort, and it was a fun ride. I don't think I'll ever ride it again, unless I really want to. But it wasn't rough by any means. It wasn't the jackhammering brain aneurysm experience that was the racer. But it was a fun ride regardless. Probably a 5 out of 10 ride for me. A cool little fun mine train coaster. It's definitely better than the Cedar Creek Mine Ride, I thought. The restraints were a lot comfier. I wasn't trying to crush my thighs, just like Cedar Creek Mine Ride was. So it made it a little bit more more enjoyable. It was a little faster, a little bit. The turns, the better transitions. I wouldn't say better transitions, but a little more aggressive transitions. And then the lift hill, and then the theming at the end of the lift hill. Even though it was a lift hill, made it that much more enjoyable. So, pretty fun ride overall. But that is it, ladies and gentlemen. That is all 13 coaster reviews done at Kings Island. Oh boy. Oh man. Yeah, again, the only other 2 coasters that they have, the Great Pumpkin Coaster, which I did not get to ride because I did not have a kid. You need a kid requirement or to be a certain height to ride it. And the Zamperla Disco Coaster called Surf Dog, which if I ever do go back to Kings Island, which I do plan on going back, whenever they get a new big coaster, which will probably be maybe a year or 2 down the line, then maybe I'll probably go back and I'll try and pick up that credit. But there won't be a review because it's the same thing as Pipe Scream. If you want a review of it, check out my Pipe Scream review in the Coaster Reviews playlist. But if you've ridden Adventure Express, though, comment down below. If you've ridden any of the other coasters that I've done reviews of, comment them down below, your experiences. Let's have a discussion. And I don't know if I'm going to get to any new coaster credits this year. King's Dominion is a maybe. That's very up in the air, though. So don't bank on that. Don't quote me on that. But hopefully I can get there. But hopefully next year we can get to another new park, if not this year. So it was a lot of fun going to Kings Island, though. A lot of fun coasters. And now I have 39 coaster credits. So, but we're going to put roller coasters aside for a little while and get back to some gaming and some other fun content that I've got planned for the rest of the summer. So stay tuned, guys, for much more amazing content, much more amazing stuff. Until next time, I will see you guys later. Bye.